All right, and in the 250 division, finishing third for Auto Trader JGR Yoshimura Suzuki, Justin Hill. And in second, on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Joey Savatgy. Our winner, Aaron Plessinger from Monster Energy, Yamaloop, Thor Parts Unlimited. Yamaha will not be joining us tonight. It'll just be Justin and Joey.
Did somebody take the middle then? How does this work?
You guys can scoot in if you'd
Joey,
like.
take middle.
We got all situated.
We're good.
Feels weird.
Justin, congratulations. On Race Day Live today, you told me that this type of track where you really had to focus and think was something that would benefit you. Was that what happened about halfway through the main event?
Yeah, absolutely. I was able to get into a little bit of a groove and have some fun out there, and the bike was working good. So I was pretty happy. I was settled in, and I got to use my noggin a little bit and sink my teeth into a track. So it was a nice change of pace track-wise.
Joey, congratulations. Take us through the battle with Justin. You guys, for what seemed like a pretty good amount of time, were going back and forth, back and forth. Just kind of walk us through the balance between being in a battle but also having to kind of focus as that track, I guess, deteriorated.
No, it was good. I think the first half of that race I kind of rode tight, didn't have the greatest lines, and Justin got by me. And from there I kind of followed into, I guess, more of his lines because obviously whatever he was doing was better than what I was doing. So kind of followed him for a couple of laps to see what he was doing. And, we kind of went back and forth. And it was exciting. I mean, the big thing for me is that, it was a clean deal. It was nothing that was over the line and respectable racing. And that's something that, I don't mind doing, week in and week out. There's definitely people out there who don't tend to want to race that way. But, when you're lining up on the gate and that there's people out there who can race respectably and show a little bit of respect while battling at the same time. Obviously, you don't like the guy when you're racing, but there's that fine line of racing hard and then kind of taking it past that point. So I think that was a really good balance tonight. I think I had a lot of fun. It obviously,
fun.
Yeah, it was obviously fun to be on the box and to be battling. Especially after last weekend. It was good.
Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. This question for Justin. You had the unusual ability to change your line at a moment's notice, which most people were struggling with. How do you cultivate that skill? Is it something you work on? Can you work on it? Touch on that.
Honestly, I attribute that to the bike. It was just working really good, and I felt like anywhere on the track that I needed to be or wanted to be, I could obtain. Like it was, I had great, good feeling in my hands everywhere around the track. So I can't really put that on myself. It was just a good balance with the chassis tonight.
Kristen Slack with Motocross Performance. This question is for both of you guys. The race lines through the whoops, at least from the stands, looked pretty bad and pretty gnarly. How do you kind of maintain your composure when you're hitting sections like that, where the race line wants to just buck you this way and that way?
Just got to send it.
Those things were edgy all day.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird because first practice they seemed to be pretty good, and then we came back out for the next practice, and it was like they hardened up or something. Like they broke down and then they hardened up. So I'd say that was probably one of the edgier set of whoops that we've had this year.
Yeah, they're hard with like flour on top. It was really strange. I don't know how they got them that way. I mean, they were good built. Like from the get-go, I was looking at them going, oh, these are good whoops. I was pretty happy with them. But yeah, they broke down really strangely.
Aaron Hatzer here with Racer X. Question for Justin. This was by far your best night of the whole season. So is there anything tangible that has changed? Anything you can shed light on that's made a difference? Or is it just one of those nights?
I guess I got to catch it cold more often or something. I don't know. I've just been steady making progress and coping with every little thing that I'm doing more and more. And And really what is making the difference, which is what I've been saying, is the start. I mean, just getting out and being and seeing these guys, is if you don't see them, you had no chance of battling with them. And, I got out front and had a good jump and was able to power through. And I came around, I probably came around 8th or 9th or something, not great, but, I was able to power through and make some good moves and just, I saw the guys out front, and I was like, "Hey, I can see them. That's light at the end of the tunnel. I can reach that." And that's what just gave me the a bit of fire just to scrub that a little harder and try to cut under that guy and try to do everything I needed to do.
Scott, Moto Now Blog. This question is for Joey. It's not common that we see a rider get passed by multiple people and then kind of regroup. You got passed by, I guess, both Aaron and Justin tonight, and then was able to regroup towards the end. So, what did you learn the most, or how did you regroup mentally after that?
Yeah, that's something that honestly I can admit to saying that I struggle with. I think I need to be open to changing my lines in the race. I've been passed before and stuck with the same lines. I think a good example was Houston. When I made a little mistake and Aaron got around me, he was doing that wheelie 3-3 after the sand, and then obviously he was wheel tap quad in the whoops. And I think those are things that if I could have picked up on, sooner and started doing it, it would have given me a shot to maybe fire back at him and go back after him for the win. Like I said tonight, Aaron, I didn't even realize Aaron passed me. It's so crazy out there. But obviously, when Justin passed me, I think it was the same lap that I had passed Alex Martin, and I was not flustered, but I was like, man, I gotta change something. It's not working. And like I said, that was where I really kind of took a step back and thought about it and followed in suit behind him, because whatever he was doing, he was making time and he was going fast. So I just try to change up my lines a little bit and figure out where he was going in certain areas where I felt like he was a lot better, and it worked tonight. And that's just something that going forward I need to keep in mind, that I got to be open to changing it, and the race line might not necessarily be the same as when it started. So.
Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. Would you guys agree that the track deteriorating actually helped racing tonight, given the fact that there was only 3 or 4 180-degree turns that are usually great opportunities for passes? This layout with a much stiffer track that didn't break down would have maybe been a little bit more difficult to race on.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it was hard pack and didn't rut up, I think it would have been probably turned into a slam fest.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of opportunities. I think from the start, like let's say you left the gate and got the whole shot. From there, basically, to the turn before the triple, as long as you protected your insides, no one's getting around you. You have the first turn, which goes into a left, which goes into a left, which goes into a left. So, dude, you got the inside. They're going to have to go around you. And, with the ruts and the track deteriorating, it kind of slowed the race down a little bit. But it led to being a technical person, definitely played out in the long run. And, so, yeah, I think overall it helped for sure.
Yeah, if you stayed clean and, if you hit everything you needed to hit, it was hard for sure. Like, I think most passes I made were when somebody did something foolish.
Yeah.
I got around them.
You're known for being a pretty technical rider. The fact is your marks that you guys gone every lap.
Yeah.
To that a little bit maybe.
Yeah. Well, for me anyway, like when I would get something clean, it was almost like I just got a little bit of extra fire. Like, okay, cool, I nailed that just right. Okay, I nailed that just right. Like I almost got breath from that, because it's hard to screw up. Yeah, like it hurts to screw up out there. Like it truthfully does. Like you case something, it sucks. So that's motivation.
Yeah, for sure. You case a rhythm section, harsh, the heart rate probably goes up 2 or 3 beats, just from having to work that little bit more. Yeah, I am being generous. Just to, it adds up though. You case 2 or 3 in one lane, and then you might make it half a lap and case some more. It starts to wear on you. So definitely hitting your marks, like they're changing, obviously, with the track deteriorating. Your marks aren't necessarily going to be in the same exact spot, but overall you kind of have an idea as to what you need to do. And, man, it's definitely crucial to hit the rhythm lanes. I think we saw in the 450 main, all Kenny had to do was get the dragon on, off, and he could have doubled his way through there, and I think he still would have won. And it's when the track's like that, man, it can come up and bite you at any second.
Kristen Slack, Motocross Performance. For both you guys, was this track surprising in terms of technicality? Because Oakland's not usually a track that, gets pretty rutted.
I don't think it was meant to be. I think it started as a pretty basic idea. Like when we were walking it, we were just going, "Oh, that'd be cake. Oh, that'd be cake." But then you get some sinking yourself in ruts, and all of a sudden it's a little trickier than you thought. That was kind of last year too. Like the track last year didn't, to me, when we were walking it, I didn't think it was anything, and it turned out to be one of the gnarlier ones. So I think it's just the track deterioration and how it all came about for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I wasn't here last year, but I'll take his word for it.
This is like an East Coast race.
Yeah, I know, it really is. Like,
this is
you
like
walk the track and you're like, wow, that doesn't, like, it's going to be simple, 2, 3, 3 all day, and then it starts breaking down and you're like, wow, like, are we going to be doubling this by the end of the night? Sitting back at the rig after the heat race, thankfully I didn't have to go to the LCQ this week, but watching it on TV, we saw the 450s in the second heat, like, a couple times do the dragon on, off, and then just double their way through because it just started to break down so bad. And that's definitely something you think about. You're like, man, what's the race line going to be? Because you might be able to go on off 3-3, but the one time you mess up, like, what's the consequence? How much does it outweigh the benefits? So.
You stick really hard here. Like I don't know. I don't know where they get there. Maybe Alcatraz. Is that what it's magical.
Magical. Thanks, guys.